Assalamu alaikum viewers. Today I'm going to bring up a very important topic and a very important area of discussion which is often neglected, and that is the mistakes we parents often make in bringing up our children. Now there are 5 very major areas in which we make these mistakes. Now the first area of concern is that spouses or husbands and wives, they quarrel in front of their children. Not only quarrel, they fight and they pick on each other, they abuse each other even. This is something which is thoroughly recommended to not be done in front of the children. In fact, not even when they are not around. The parents must work out a conflict resolution strategy. They must resolve their differences behind closed doors, and they must never fight in front of their children, because this will make the children lose confidence in the institution of marriage. It will also adversely affect their confidence and badly shake their psyche. The second grave mistake which our parents make is that they force certain decisions upon their children, and in this regard 2 very prominent examples are choosing a spouse and choosing a career. In both of these areas, parents have not been given any final authority. Parents can suggest their children as to which career they would like them to adopt, or even the spouse they would marry, but they cannot force the decision on them. They must realize that if they do so, then they would be committing a very grave violation of human rights. The third mistake which parents normally make in this regard is that not only do they enforce their views regarding these 2 areas which I just mentioned, they would also like their children to follow their own religious, social and cultural approach and outlook, without realizing that a child who has developed in this new environment could have his own worldview, could have his own religious and social approach, and therefore the parents must never force their children to adopt their own views. What best gift they can give in this regard, and what best training that they can impart their children in this regard, is that they must inspire them to become people who are true seekers of the truth. Quest for the truth is the best gift that they can instill in their children, and if they do so, then they should think that their job has been done. The fourth mistake viewers our parents generally make in this regard is they start comparing children not only amongst themselves but with other children as well. And this happens generally when a child is a slow learner, he's not that intelligent, he's not that sharp, he's not that talented, and instead of helping him, instead of giving him more time or her more time, what parents generally do is that they mock and jeer and taunt at their children, and this does not do any good to these already slow learners, if I may call them. They have to help them out in all these areas, and at last and at best, except if a child that they have been given by the Almighty is not as talented as some of the other children. And the fifth and final mistake, viewers, which our parents make a lot, is that instead of outlining the wisdom of certain religious directives which they would like their children to follow, they enforce this decision on their children once again by simple sentences as do this and do that, start praying, observe the fast, go for Hajj, to Umrah. So all these religious directives, instead of just outlining them and just asking our children to follow them, we as parents must try to tell our children the wisdom and the reason why the Almighty has asked us to follow these rituals. And of course this would also make us realize ourselves as parents that we must need to find out first for ourselves what exactly and why exactly are we told to do certain rituals. This would be an educative experience for the parents themselves first as well. So they must realize that instead of forcing an opinion or asking their children to follow a certain religious ritual or a directive, they must try to understand why the Almighty has asked them to follow this particular directive, and then communicate this wisdom to their children. So these are the 5 areas, in my humble opinion, which need to be looked into, and I hope that you would have benefited from this video. Thank you.